There's not a problem with the television. Thank you.
I'll call Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And yes, if people are still tuned in, that was the big idea, brains trust from the National Party about what's going to fix these economic woes that this country's got. Todd McLeod talking about cows on Trade Me. That's the big idea that they've got. Look, but this part one of this bill, Mr. Chair. Yeah, it was hard to understand what he said, but it was about cows on Trade Me. That's the big issue that's going to fix the economic woes of this country. And part one, I think, shows how out of touch this government is with the economic woes of this country and the issues faced by ordinary families in New Zealand. Because they have found in part one the culprits to our economic woes. They've gone looking for them and they've found them. The culprits are the paper boys and the paper girls of this country not paying tax, and that is what they're going to fix up to bring this country into economic growth. Well, Mr. Chair, that just goes to show how devoid of ideas and how devoid of an actual plan for the brighter future they promised this country that government actually is. Because part one of this bill says that what we're going to do and why we've suspended the budget debate to fix the economic woes and the absolute bottoming out of the economy in this country under that government's watch is we're going to start taxing children who are doing paper rounds, children, in fact, who come from probably some of the poorest families in this country, because they are the children who are out there earning more than $2,340 a year, not because it's fun, not because they feel like doing it, but because that contributes to their family's income. And those are the very families that that government's going after. They are making them the culprits for their lack of having a plan, their lack of having any ambition of bringing this country out of the economic doldrums that they've got us into. Chair, can I go on to also let people know about another part that goes after children in part one? This government going after children all the time as they are, they have taken away the tax credit for childcare. That's right, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, hasn't been spoken about much, but they are they're actually saying that they don't want working families to be able to have a tax credit for the childcare payments that they pay. But it's about actually joining the dots together, because not only have they taken this tax credit away, but they have frozen the subsidies to early childhood education in this budget today. That means that fees are going to go up for parents. That's going to even further stretch the family budget that is already stretched to breaking point. That's how out of touch, Mr. Chair, that government is with working families, because they do not understand how badly their budgets are. And part one, Mr. Chair, actually makes it worse, because not only are fees going to go up for early childhood education, but now they're taking away the tax credits that parents can currently now claim for childcare expenses, and they're doing that through part one of this bill. It is a mean-spirited bill because it doesn't fix any of the economic woes of this country. We are flatlining economically. We are in an economic rut thanks to that government and their lack of any plan. And what are they doing to fix that? Well, they're picking the pocket money of our children, and they are also saying that families can no longer claim a small but important tax credit for childcare expenses on the back of delivering a budget today that increases childcare expenses for all of those families as well. That government is shown by part one of this bill they are completely out of touch with the struggles that working families face. They are completely out of touch with that. Not only are they saying they're going to put a financial veto against extending paid parental leave to show how out of touch they are with the everyday struggles of working families, but they are using part one of this bill to attack working families all over again and to say that they can no longer claim a tax credit for childcare expenses. And those childcare expenses are going to go up as a result of other measures that this government has taken in the budget today. This is just a double whammy for working families with young children. And isn't it interesting, Mr. Chair, that that's the government that wants us to think that they're interested in vulnerable children. Paula Bennett wants us to believe that, but here she is in part one of this bill attacking those very children.
The Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Chairman, that contribution reminds me that I ought to reply to the New Zealand First member who spoke